Hey, today's topic, trust is the new currency, may seem sort of mystifying to you because after all, if you look at society, especially in the US in the past crash years, it's almost like as the book title says, the sociopath next door always wins. The person who uses language to manipulate and trigger people and really brings out the worst in people, maybe plays on their fears, plays on what they feel bad about themselves, and fills up that emptiness with your product or service. And there's a lot of you who are doing quite well and have been doing that for a long time, but there's a whole group of people who are doing really, really well, who never did it that way, who always looked at honoring the customer, honoring the relationship, and realizing that those things short term that you churn and burn do not lead you anywhere. And that trust is the new currency. And here's what's happening. It's the impact of social media, not as defined by Facebook or Twitter. Those are just tools. Social media is an attitude. Social media is the voice of the audience. And social media means that each message that we have has to validate the trust because you can't get away with it. You can't hide. So when I say trust is the new currency, I want you to remember that you have to earn that trust and that respect. You don't deserve it. You don't expect it. You realize that the people out there generally, in the US specifically and all over the world, have seen a whole range of people who've been rip-off artists. And there's a bias that people have coming in. Are you one of these sales guys? Are you one of these telling the truth people that's going to come in and fill my head with what I think I want to hear? Remember that. Because they're not dumb, these people playing games. But they don't understand that when you build trust, that trust is first in social media given by somebody liking you or opting into your list. And that everywhere you go, you've got to earn that trust. And that's how people measure you. Some of the social media experts like to call it social proof. But what it really comes down to is there's so many rip-offs that we want to go to the company, the business, the site, the community that actually rewards trust, that actually rewards that and brings that on again and again. So when I say trust is the new currency, I mean you have to earn people's trust. And when you do, they talk about you. They talk about you to other people, and they pass it on. And it's a currency that's not measured in paper or silver, gold. It's not volatile. In fact, it's very rooted in the core principles of being a human being. That trust is what they're really looking for, and if you can actually come out and break that barrier, it's amazing how much will open, including their referrals, including their business. Because the real barrier in any economy like this, where people are so battered and bruised from investments, from people and politicians, and it seems like the whole world's a bunch of hot air. And while that's certainly not the truth, and I wouldn't encourage any of you to go with that attitude, I do want to put this message out to you to pivot and profit, to pivot to trust. Start building trust up front and start realizing that the manipulation, the games, the tricking of people doesn't last like it used to, because in new media, everybody talks. That's the impact of social. Everybody talks, and they're talking about you. So don't you want them to talk well about you? And not just that, don't you want to earn their trust so they'll pass it on to 5, 10, 20, 30 friends? Because see, that's the real key that people don't understand about the impact of social media and mobile. The people are in control, guys. And trust is the new currency. Even in an interview with people, a survey, in the end of the 20th century, people had very much different attitudes. They trusted brands. They trusted even teachers and religious leaders. And now that's changed to trusting a friend and a friend of a friend. That's the currency. That's where you get trust. And that's what builds a real business. So throw away the old rules, stop following the gurus, and take my advice. Start building on trust and start with the first one you should trust, yourself. My name's Declan and I'm done with this Pivot and Profit. Trust is the new currency.